So today I woke up with this energy that something exciting is coming and something beautiful is going to happen without knowing what and how and when. Like sometimes we wake up with uh, this feeling of oh, I'm going to win the lottery today. Let me run and get the lottery winning ticket. It's almost coming from within, which I think I remember when I was a child, this was like my constant state of being. I was constantly happy and excited about things which are going to happen today. It doesn't happen much when we age, but it still does happen. And so I was looking around the energies and thinking, uh, how? What is going on? Everything is so chaotic. There's so many challenges. There's so many unknowns. There is so much frustration. And then all of a sudden it occurred to me, this is a just moment in time. It's like a white noise, and this is not the purpose of what we are here to do. There is something bigger. There is something at the other end of this tunnel which we came here to do. And then when you open up your consciousness and your being is more relaxed and happy, all of a sudden your consciousness connects to different level of intelligence, so to say. So then all of a sudden what occurred to me was like telepathy. It's like telepathy we will be able to do with our organic structure as we are. We will be able to use and learn how to use telepathy. So this was so exciting, and I was like, how are we going to do this? Well, you have your thought, which is more in the electro field. You have your emotion, which is more in the magnetic field. They are perpendicular. You open that portal and you put your electromagnetic information in the portal, and you send it through a supersonic speed to the place. You just shoot it through to the place, person, location, situation, whatever, where you want it to go, and it arrives there. And if the other end is capable of picking up the signal, they will receive the signal if they in tune to it. It's like a radio station. You send the signal from here, they in tune at the other end, they receive the information. Simple, right? Ingenious. But then I was like, how exactly are we going to do this? Well, imagine a light ball, and you collect the light ball, which is the electromagnetic energy, and you drop it on a guitar string. And it goes and it shoots through the guitar string to the other end. So this was so exciting, and we're going to be able to do this. Imagine. Unbelievable. And then I started thinking more about, but how, like the little kids, but how? I want to do this now. How are we going to do, what's going to happen? And then little physics came to mind. Some time ago, I was reading about wave train, physics, waves, technology, and the other one, transverse waves. So I remember when I read about the transverse waves, how were they discovered? So somebody, I think somewhere in the Netherlands, was actually sitting at a bench in front of one of those canals they have everywhere, and all of a sudden observed this wave, which had like a constant amplitude, and it was moving from one side of the canal to the other. It was like this tunnel in the water, not changing the amplitude. It just like transverse wave, just going there. It's like a channel on its own. So this spurred the investigation of the transverse waves, and they became a thing in physics. So this sounds like something which may have to do with telepathy, the way this technology may work in the future. and the way we would be able to master this if we want to explain it from our physics perspective as much as we know. The other one came to mind was wave train. So wave train, similarly, is a packeted wave which travels on a string. So this is the packeted wave and it goes on a string, but the wave train may have different amplitudes. It's not like the constant amplitude like on the transverse wave. And and the other thing which came to mind with all of this was Spintronics. So Spintronics studies the spins of the electrons. So they have this physics calls it intrinsic feature, and I don't like when they say intrinsic feature. That means there is something which we don't understand. You know, this is like what is a magnet? Magnet is a material which has an intrinsic feature. There is something which we don't understand. That's why we call it that. But in any event, spintronics is a very cool phenomena as well, where the electrons, they take a spin on their own, spinning up or spinning down, and they eventually neutralize at some point. So let's see if I can show you some of this. My computer here allows me to log in and show you some of the pictures, so you have like a visual. Visual is much more easier. It's easier to understand. So this one, that's that transverse wave. So the electrical and the magnetic waves in perpendicular motion. And the one on top, perpendicular as well. Movement. Isn't that cool? And let's see. This one is the packet wave. This is more like a sound wave, I think. Or a wave train, so to say. And the spintronics and the electrons spinning up and down and eventually neutralizing, losing their trajectories. So I just wanted to mention these things. Sometimes I think of something and I am guided to go and study certain things from physics, and I just provide the information. I have a scientific background, but my scientific background is not to the depth of how to discover telepathy, for example. It's more on the intuitionary side and add-ons with some technology and research mostly. And by the way, speaking of technology, I'm absolutely sure this technology exists, and it existed for a very long time, suppressed, not being allowed to be used for humanity, for positive benevolent use. But this technology may very well be unveiled in sometime in the future. I don't know when. And this is, again, so it's one thing to be able to do this with technology, but it's something else, the organic structure, being ourselves, to be able to know and to master telepathy. Isn't that exciting? Who needs internet if this was the case? I guess we'll probably go into different levels, and the internet, of course, will still be used. But started thinking about this, and again, so I looked at some of my old drawings, which I started drawing in 2017, and back then I was just drawing. I had no idea what these things are. So now I'm going back and with little more understanding what they may mean, looking at them. So, and I think when I think about this, I think it's not understanding and learning as it is more of remembering, because I think I came to the planet with suitcases full of information, but I just couldn't remember it. I just couldn't remember. And then the memories started coming in, but then I couldn't interpret them. So, and it takes time. Memories open up, interpretation opens up. And I think it's not just to the individual, but also the collective, because those consciousnesses, they, so to say, download the information. And again, like a radio station, some people pick specific information depending on their own level of frequency, like a radio station vibration, or what this electromagnetic structure consciousness called soul has been in the past, and how much information it has gathered. So speaking of this, I looked at this one. That's my little drawing from 2017. And this one, I started thinking about this one as well. So cubicle, meaning the fourth dimensional shell, around two interlinked pyramids in the middle, one facing up and one facing down. And that structure in the middle, interlinked tetrahedronic structure, rotates in a direction opposite clockwise, and the cubicle rotates in the opposite direction. So one is clockwise, the other one is counterclockwise. So, and this is a constant interaction. And then again, speaking of evolution and involution. So when spirit comes down to matter, it's involution, and when matter goes up to spirits is evolution. So this is almost like they're both interconnected inside the fourth dimensional shell. But that structure in the middle, it's not just three-dimensional, because us being in this physical body, being in this three-dimensional dense matter, it's almost like we are squeezed in existence, we're squeezed in matter, in physical density here. But when this interconnection happens, even the fourth dimensional shell expands. So almost like, and then beyond the fourth, there are 5, 6, 7 dimensions, and then shell at 8, and 9, 10, 11, shell at 12, so on and so forth. But what's important about us at this point of time and ascension is we're in the middle of this structure. So we are very important, because when our consciousness expands, so does the whole structure, which is like one humongous, embedded, holographic, pulsating, multi-layered, multi-leveled, harmonic, perfectly organized mathematically and geometrically, containing electromagnetic lights, containing sounds, pulsating, intelligent structure, and we're in the middle of this. So once we expand, the whole structure expands, and we are a reflection of ourselves into the different layers of the structure. But we're so dense here, and when you start thinking about these things, one analogy which came to mind was, like the cars, which have tinted windows, so you can see from in out, but people cannot see from outside in. So the shell structure, the dimensions almost looks the same, but it's the opposite. So you cannot see from in out to the different dimensions, but you can be seen from outside in. And tricky, right? Why did we put ourselves in this game again? If you start thinking, why did I put myself in this game? You can just go mad. So, but bit by bit, I'm sure we're going to be able to unravel some of those mysteries and esoteric metaphysical things which are coming to mind to so many people at this time of day. So what I was saying was this cubicle and the interlinked pyramids in the middle, this is like the basis of the ascension, the expansion process. And our bodies, 3 dimensions, 64-bit operating system, 2 to the power of 6 binary universe, dark and light, 0 and 1, perpetuum reactor, perpetuum mobile, which moves, and potential kinetic energies. One conserves the energy, the other one expresses the energy. 3 dimensions, right? And the hardware, our body, through the ascension process, has been going through a huge upgrade. And I'm saying this because I can feel this in my own bones, so to say. Bones are less carbon and more light. Do a meditation, do a little meditation, look inside of your bones, see what you're going to see. Fun, right? So how are we going to unravel all this information? I think each one of us who are here now, we came with a very specific mission, and also with a lot of information. And some of us, I think the first wave of spiritual teachers, they've already unraveled and helped humanity move forward, and they will be doing so forever. But there are also different waves of people who are coming, who are lighting up now. And each one has a specific purpose in this game, a specific little puzzle to create the bigger structure. And it's not like one knows it all. This doesn't exist. It's spread out different consciousnesses, which collectively will build the bigger picture. And I think this is what's coming. And this is why I'm sharing this information, because maybe it will open up somebody else's memories to remember what they have in their electromagnetic soul supersonic field. Why did they come here? And what is so cool about rebuilding the whole infrastructure on the planet? Isn't that cool? So, and having those talents and skills and healing capabilities, and it all comes from within the organic structure, which already probably exists within the AI structure, and it will continue to exist. I don't know how these are going to mix in the future. There may be organic and AI, there may be organic only, there may be AI only, so who knows? It will probably be all of the above. So what else? Oh, and then the other thoughts which came to mind were, apparently back then when I had all these thoughts, I was trying to solve something. I don't really know. This is like logarithmic and exponential and logarithmic functions. Most likely I was trying to solve some of the things with transverse waves or whatever I was envisioning. But then I thought today, and I looked at the earthquake scales of Richter. I think I spent a lot of time researching all of this. But what I was thinking today is, I don't think any of this matters in the higher dimensions. If the organic structure organically, consciously knows how to do these things, you don't have to know the logarithms or the mathematics or the specifics, the way our linear minds are interpreting all of this today. I think this is all going to change. It will be a very, very different format of learning, accepting and receiving and sending information. It will be completely different. And the other one, I think back then I was thinking about DNA a lot. And every time I would ask a DNA question, so this was one of my downloads around DNA. And this is just one cycle of how our DNA weaves. How we are coded, so to say. So we weave and unweave. And I've spoken about this before, how through our heart structure we weave and unweave different the different energy centers of the body, the 7 chakras. They go through the heart. The heart flips and flops vertically to create the no gravity momentum, which is 0 point of manifestation, and the energetic cycles go up and down. So that's a whole different mechanics, which one day I'll get into the depth of how this may be expressed scientifically, I hope. But I would also need help from others who may have similar memories or who've already worked on this type of technology, because I'm sure many have done this. It's as unique as we are not that unique. So I think this is where my excitement came in today. I was thinking of our future as organic humans and how we'll have our talents, our skills, our memories opened up, and it will be incredible, unbelievable.